you do it, but whenever I think about a new product or something, I start searching online. So that's what most of the people do, so I'm quite average. I don't know how about you. So we analyze on a frequent basis in the German market, so what do people actually look for on Google when they think about electric vehicles? And instead of just doing ads there, we started something different actually. We produced some special content answering these questions. So as I said, we launched this portal in Germany to answer the questions. It's not Audi branded, it's just answering that question. So for example, what are the advantages and disadvantages of an electric car? Other questions might be, what is the environmental bonus for driving an electric vehicle? Yeah, there's also maybe some tax advantages you can get. So we try to answer all these questions. And from there we guide them to our website, and there we have a lot of tools ready for them once they start evaluating whether electric vehicle is right for them. So you see some first screens here because a lot of the stuff is going live towards market introduction of the vehicle. So in November this year on our global websites, our country websites, we will provide people with the tools. But one of the major questions is always, if I want to install a charging station at home, what's important, what do I have to take care of? So we provide them with all these tools. As I said, these are not final layouts, it's just giving you an impression how we guide our users there. And something else, talking about range of vehicles, there are a lot of parameters influencing the range. So we provide people with several tools where they can play a little bit, saying, okay, what's your typical driving mode? What's your typical driving area? What's the outside temperature or average outside temperature in your region? And even tire size or rim size. I mean, these are all things that influence the range of an electric vehicle. So we give them tools to play with and learn about how long the range is and whether the vehicle fits into their daily mobility life. Something else is the charging time. I don't know, this is probably one of the major questions you stumbled across when you said, okay, I have an electric vehicle, I have to drive a longer distance, and in between there, I have to charge it. How long does it actually take? And what can I do? So again, very playful, we say, okay, what's your charging location? Is it public or is it home? What's the charging source? What's the charging capacity, and so on? And we actually motivate people to play with this and learn that it might not take as long as they expected that it might. And maybe in the future we offer them things to do in between as well. So there are a lot of opportunities in there, but we want to provide our users with tools where they can really, really learn and get a feeling for electric vehicles. And then we come to the buying process, and as of tonight, you will be able in the US to pre-order the Audi e-tron. It also starts in Germany, and some other European markets already started. So since no one of you is driving an electric vehicle yet, maybe tonight's the night, you can pre-order your Audi e-tron. But of course, this is like an e-commerce way of buying products. People are used to this from our areas. We as Audi also move into this field intensively. So, and then last but not least is the My Audi app that basically is very useful to install if you drive an Audi car. So even today with our vehicles, we launched the new My Audi app last year in fall with the Audi A8, with the new connectivity packages we have with this car. And of course, we'll extend the feature set of My Audi also towards electric mobility, so that you can see in the My Audi app the charging status and all the information you need at hand while you're not close to your vehicle. But of course, this is just the start, because it's all about the digital ecosystem today, and for us, My Audi will become the heart of our digital ecosystem, will be the central customer access point for many, many of the services we are planning. And I'd like to give you some more insights on this today, and also specifically for the e-tron, what we are planning. So we basically divided the field of development, again, customer in the center, into 5 different areas, saying control and connection, building up a connection with the vehicle, obviously, but also then controlling the vehicle, like remote parking functionalities, but also controlling your personal data. So giving our customers full transparency on how their data is used if they allow us to, and from there we develop new services. But we always want to be fully transparent and give our customers the control. Connection can also be other things, not just vehicles. I mean, IoT is a big topic, so there might be services as well in the future. Three other areas down here, you see conversation, commerce, and content. I already showed you a little bit about what we're planning in terms of, or what we're doing in terms of content, but there might be other opportunities in the future too for specific content. I already touched upon waiting time while you charge. There might be offerings and so on. Commerce, it's all about buying a vehicle, buying accessories, maybe buying mobility services, so not just buying vehicles in the future, and buying digital services as well. And conversation is all about the relation to our customers. We're using this word conversation to really demonstrate we want to be in close contact with our customers. So if you have a question, just approach us. If you have a question to your dealer, just approach us. If something is not working the way it should, that you get immediate support. So everything is in this field. And I'll give you 3 more examples of what we're doing in the Audi e-tron, where these fields of interaction, how we call them, come to life. So let's start with one service that reduces range anxiety, so our e-tron route planner. I said you can see the charging status in your app for the vehicle, but if you plan a route, you type in your final destination where you want to go. It calculates your perfect route. You can send it remotely to your car. It pops up in your MMI, and you're ready to drive. But in terms of electric mobility, it also tells you there are the charging stations you might need on your route. It tells you what kind of charging station it is, if it's occupied or not, and that's the clue. It uses traffic and environmental data to continuously recalculate if things change and you might stop earlier or you can drive longer or further. So it's really highly connected, and it's a very convenient service, but it takes away a lot of the range anxiety from people that you know, okay, I planned this trip and I know how long it will take and I know I'll get there. So a very good service. Then another service, we're starting with the e-tron. That goes a little bit fast and the screens are in German, but it's functions on demand. With the e-tron, for the first time, we'll offer the customers the possibility, after he purchased the car and it got delivered, if he forgot maybe to purchase a certain equipment, that he can unlock it afterwards. So with a touch of a finger, you basically, inside the car or inside the app, you can say, okay, matrix beam, that's a pretty cool feature. I know it's not allowed in the US yet, but in other markets it is, and you didn't order it, then you can unlock it afterwards. Or driver assistance system, man, you forgot the lane assistant, just book it. Or there are different horsepower levels of the vehicle, so maybe you can upgrade for your vehicle in terms of power. And you can decide whether you book it a month, a year, or for lifetime. So that makes it quite flexible, so in case you didn't order it at first hand, you can decide later to use it. That's an important aspect, not just for if you sell cars and someone forgot it, but also for the rental car market. That's a rental car market or mobility services. That's a pretty cool thing because you can add features to the vehicle. You can basically upsell, or also for the used car market. So you can change afterwards, or a dealer can change the configuration of the vehicle afterwards and then get it back on sale. So there's a lot of flexibility. This is just one example. It starts with the e-tron, will be rolled out to other models afterwards, and not just electric ones. Another example in terms of content, once you ordered a car, and sometimes you do have to wait for your car a few weeks until it's getting delivered. But you can register it directly once you ordered it, type in the ID of the vehicle, it shows you what equipment you have, and then we'll provide people with information regarding their vehicle, explaining stuff in a very simple way. So one of the major questions I had when the first time I was driving an Audi e-tron was, how do I charge? How does it actually work? I've never done this before. And you get this car delivered, yeah, maybe your dealer showed it when you bought it, but still, I mean, there are so many aspects. There's so much great technology now in vehicles today. So get some very good explanation tailored to your vehicle. So it just shows you the explanatory content of your vehicle and of everything that is out there. So once again, these are the 5 different fields we're developing our digital ecosystem with. There might be other things possible. I mean, I touched upon mobility. The colleagues will be on stage right after. Why not buy mobility once you travel? I don't know where you guys are all from, but maybe not from the US. And once you got here, maybe you have the need of mobility. How convenient would this be if you maybe get even the same configuration or settings, individual settings in the Audi you are driving at home once you get somewhere else and book mobility. So all I'm saying, we are growing this ecosystem slowly, but in a very consequent way with each model and each service we are adding. And one last word in terms of services. Many of the things I showed you here is about our established business. So laying basically the foundation, e-commerce, buying things online, also in the mobility context. But here it's getting more and more interesting also for car companies when there are services that are stretching beyond your traditional business and that have in the future a big growth potential because they're highly relevant to customers. And everything I said, web portal, CRM, e-commerce, that's all for established business, but building the foundation. But we're looking in other areas as well, like insurance, after-sales mobility, I already said, or the used car markets. Are there other services that might be relevant for our customers in the future? And there it's getting really exciting if you move even beyond mobility and connect with other industries and maybe do joint ventures together. So we're working a lot on where can we have smart partnerships and so on. So I'm very, very happy next year we'll announce a few very specific products and partnerships. So it's good to stay tuned, but this is next year. Today it's all about the etron. All I wanted to leave you with is basically our ambition for my Audi is we want to connect people with everything that drives them, and hopefully you're driven tonight and you're excited tonight once you see the etron, the starting point into many of the services we are doing, and hope you have a fantastic day here today as well. And I'm happy to answer your questions because I'll be around the whole day and even tonight. So in terms you're curious what else we're planning, I might have some infos for you. So thank you very much.
And actually, as you know, we won't let you off stage that evening.
Exactly. Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Exactly. So if any of you have questions, yes, please. Hi, I'm Rachel from Autocar in the UK. Two things I just wanted you to expand on, if you could, even if it's just kind of hypothetical examples. You talked about offering people things to do in between, I think, when their car was charging, so just a little bit more about that. And also you touched Internet of Things is a big topic. Obviously it's not quite here yet, but can you tell us what you foresee is likely to be the first sort of things that we come into play in Audi?
So tonight when the e-tron is being introduced, there will be another topic touched where you can see where we always have this connection towards something people use at their home. So you'll get the information tonight. And in terms of what can people do, I mean, it's all about time, and it's not and how you make the time pretty exciting, not just take away pain points, but also how can our customers then maybe consume specific information that is tailored to the waiting time, or content that is tailored to the waiting time. We're looking heavily into this, so especially in terms of content. If you know you're there for 20 minutes, get provided with something that perfectly fits this time period. Sorry. Yeah.
So when you say that time period, do you just mean, excuse me, like reading a news story? What do you mean by content?
Yeah. So this is what we're starting with. So content, but also in terms of where the charging points are, you can do things there. We are evaluating a lot of different paths right now. Nothing specific I can share with you, but let's start with the content so that it's perfectly tailored to your time. I mean, all of you probably had this experience in a plane or something. You have you watch a film, it's 90 minutes, and if you're just on a journey for 60 minutes, it never really fits your time. So it goes into that direction.
Ken Kovan, it's for him. I take a question in English. So anyway, did I understand it right that you sell the car via internet, or do you only configure it and give the configuration to the dealer?
So this is the dealers are always integrated in our process. So here it's all about pre-ordering. You select a dealer that will deliver the vehicle to you. And the European markets, we started with online used car sales in Germany, for example. People can buy our vehicles online, used car vehicles online on our platform, but always with dealer integration.
And if you allow a second question, you told me about upgrading the car later on. So you will configure the cars fully loaded, do I understand it right?
In certain areas, exactly, but it's basically, if you didn't order it, it's not unlocked, you can unlock it later. So you can order right away, or you can decide later whether you want to.
But isn't that expensive?
There are some synergies in terms of development and production, and for a customer, it will be a little bit more expensive if they decide later or on a short-term notice, as if they order it right away. There's a little price difference.
No, I mean for you to integrate something like lane assist into the car, not knowing whether the customer is going to buy it or not.
Exactly. But it's we did a lot of research on this, and I mean you're probably used to this for in-app purchases already in the digital world, and we are basically transferring this to the vehicle, and it reduces complexity also for us.
Any more questions in the room?
Bruce Fraser, Times Media, South Africa. You mentioned planning your trip, say from Munich to Berlin. Those charging points that tells where you can charge, would they be shared with other manufacturers, the charging points?
Yeah, it depends on who you collaborate with. So they're not all Audi owned, obviously. So we use the whole charging network that is available and get the information to our users and telling them, okay, there is a charging point. So it's not locked Audi exclusively, of course.
And would it tell you as well how many cars at that particular time are occupying those charging points?
Yeah, it tells you if it's occupied or not. That's very important information, because otherwise, if you need to charge, it tells you to go somewhere else to charge. Yeah, but I love that feature because it also uses like outside temperature and the traffic situation, whether there are traffic jams or uses all this data to really recalculate things and make it for you the most convenient it can get. So that's I don't know if you already tried this this route planner in the A8, where you just type in, for example, at night, okay, tomorrow I'll go there, just type in the final destination, send it to my car, and you just get into the car. You don't need to interact anymore. It just, the route is there already, and this is like the next step and perfectly for e-mobility.
And now I step in.
You step in.
Yes.
But maybe there are more questions.
Yes, but if there are more questions, you will find Niels outside. He won't run away. He's here the whole day, and we will actually repeat that talk if you want to see him again. And we have now a little bit of time to change, to go to another room. And in 5 minutes, we start with the next topic, the Audi mobility strategy. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Niels.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.